We had only just moved into the house when we first noticed him. One morning we looked out the back window and there he was, sitting quietly in the corner of the garden, staring toward the house. After that, it became part of our routine. Every day I'd wake up, open the curtains, and he'd already be there waiting. Once we moved in, this black and white cat started appearing in the garden every single day. Sometimes late at night, around midnight or 1 in the morning, I'd look outside and see him sitting right on the back doorstep as though he belonged there.
But where? Hello?
Eventually, I decided to knock on a few doors along the road behind us, which was where we'd moved from before. Strangely enough, the very first house I knocked on turned out to be his family's home. The man answered the door and immediately said, "Oh, that's actually our cat." I explained that we'd just moved in behind them and that he kept spending all his time at our house.
Coming back. Hello!
I told them not to worry because he wasn't hurt or anything. We were simply concerned about him always being outside our back door. I also said that if he had a loving home, then that was absolutely fine. We just wanted to know he was okay. They apologised and said they hoped he wasn't causing a nuisance, but after that we mostly just left things as they were.
Hi. Hi to you too.
The truth is, I'd never really been a cat person. I've always been very allergic to cats and dogs, and I'd never lived with animals before. So, in the beginning, I wasn't especially interested in making friends with this cat. Honestly, I mostly wanted him to stop coming around. We tried everything we could think of to discourage him from staying in the garden. We'd shoo him away, ignore him, avoid encouraging him in any way, but none of it worked. Nothing seemed to put him off. No matter what we did, he kept coming back. I remember one time he was absolutely drenched from the rain, and we asked his family about it. They explained that he had a cat flap and could come and go whenever he wanted, which meant it was completely his own decision to sit outside our back door in the snow. He could easily have gone home to a warm, comfortable house, but instead he always chose to be outside ours.
Poor baby.
It took me a long time to warm to him. Really, for the best part of 5 years, he was simply this cat who spent time in our garden. But over the years, I became more and more curious about him. There was something unusual about this little creature who had somehow decided we were his people before we even realised it ourselves.
Thank you for waiting for me.
Every time I sat out in the garden, he'd come over wanting to sit on my lap and cuddle up beside me, and gradually things just grew from there. The more affection I showed him, the more affection he gave back. It happened so naturally that I barely noticed it at first, but before long I realised I'd completely fallen in love with him. The funny thing was, he didn't actually have any connection to this house at all. But when we first moved in, the previous owners had left quite a few things behind in the garage. One day we found a painting of a black and white cat among the old belongings. It must have been one of their previous pets, but it still felt strangely meaningful seeing that painting sitting there while this black and white cat kept appearing outside our home every day.
Excuse me.
Eventually, we wrote a letter to his owners explaining that although we fully respected that he was their pet, if there ever came a time when they needed to rehome him, we would be very happy to take him in. Not long afterward, I received a lovely message from his owner. She explained that they had loved him his entire life, that they'd raised him from being a kitten, and that he would always remain their cat. But she also said they were happy for us to continue our special friendship with him, so that's exactly what we did.
There's one. Are you going to snaffle it yourself? Look, there's one right there.
Then in March of 2020, just before the UK went into lockdown, I received another text message from his owner saying that their circumstances were changing. They weren't sure what was going to happen with the house, and they didn't want Dudley to have to leave the area he'd known his entire life. Then they asked if we would like to adopt him. The The moment I read the message, I burst into tears and handed my phone straight to my husband. He read it, looked at me, and there was never really any discussion about it at all. The answer was immediately yes, he was going to become part of our family.
What's he doing?
There's always been something about Dudley that feels difficult to explain. Sometimes it honestly feels as though he either belonged here before or somehow understands far more than he lets on. He looks at me so intently sometimes that it almost feels like he sees me in a way other animals or even people don't. And the strangest part of all is that despite Dudley being probably the fluffiest cat in the world, my allergies have never bothered me with him. I'm still allergic to every other cat. If I visit my sister's house, I still need antihistamines and my asthma inhaler, but never with Dudley. I genuinely believe there's something about him that feels a little bit magical. He completely changed the way I feel about cats, and honestly, I often think about how empty life would have felt if he'd never kept showing up outside our door.
Oh, look who's there! I hope he's not been there all night. I'm sure he's not.
If you ever think about adopting an animal, take the time to really understand the responsibility and commitment that comes with it. But also remember that sometimes an animal can quietly change your life in ways you never expected. Sometimes they choose you long before you realise you needed them to.